In a fit of rage, this arrogant woman slapped the professor across the face. Then she violently smashed the medical cooler that had a life-saving artificial heart inside. Just hours earlier, the professor was rushing to the airport, carrying a new heart her team had just developed. Her husband's life depended on it. He needed a transplant within 3 hours or he would die. Her son, who's the CEO of an airline, had called to tell her his girlfriend was on the same flight. He wanted her to meet the woman he planned to marry. But at the check-in counter, his girlfriend thought the CEO's mother must be some rich lady in first class. So she rudely shoved the plainly dressed professor aside and cut the line. The professor was horrified that this could be her future daughter-in-law. Now on the plane, the girlfriend demanded they delay takeoff because her future mother-in-law hadn't arrived yet. The professor pleaded with her, explaining that the flight couldn't be delayed because her husband's life was on the line. But the girlfriend just scoffed, saying the old man's life was worthless compared to her chance to marry into a rich family. She started insulting the other passengers, throwing wads of cash and telling them she'd pay for their wasted time. The professor was shocked, telling her that no respectable family would ever accept a daughter-in-law with no basic human decency. This made the girlfriend so mad that she hit her. Her friend accused the professor of trying to get money out of them. The girlfriend then ripped the life-saving cooler right out of the professor's hands. The woman sneered that she'd show her what real despair looks like, while her friend sneered that the expensive medical equipment was just cheap junk. The professor, holding her bruised arm, begged them to stop. She explained that the cooler had the newest artificial heart, which was worth hundreds of millions in research funds, and it was crucial for saving her husband and countless other patients. But the girlfriend just laughed, bragging that her fiancé's pocket money could buy 10 of them. Her friend then dropped the bomb. Her fiancé was Zhou Yichuan, the CEO of this very airline. The professor was horrified. This cruel, arrogant woman was the one her son wanted to marry. She told the woman that, with a heart that poisonous, the Zhou family would never accept her. Furious, the girlfriend ordered her friend to hold the professor down, but they were interrupted when the pilot showed up. As soon as he saw the CEO's girlfriend, the pilot started sucking up to her, asking who dared to upset her. She pointed to the beaten professor on the floor and called her a crazy old woman who was bothering her. The passengers tried to explain, but the pilot ignored them, trying to get on the good side of his future boss's wife. He asked loudly, who would be so bold as to bully the future CEO's wife? Struggling to her feet, the bloody professor raised her hand. At that exact moment, Zhou Yichuan canceled all his meetings, telling his assistant he had to get to the airport immediately to be with his mother for his father's surgery. Thinking the professor was a fake, the woman brutally kicked her in the stomach. She screamed that she was asking for death by pretending to be her mother-in-law. The butt-kissing pilot agreed, saying the real Mrs. Zhou would be a rich socialite, not some poorly dressed country hick. The professor in agony insisted that the woman would regret this, but her warning just made the woman even angrier. With a cruel smile, the girlfriend grabbed a fire extinguisher. She mockingly offered to cool the professor down before spraying her right in the face. As the professor choked on the white powder, the woman and her friend laughed like crazy. Meanwhile, the CEO was racing to the airport after getting a call about a problem on his mother's flight. Seeing how desperate the professor was, she offered a cruel deal. If the professor got on her knees, bowed her head to the floor 3 times, and slapped herself 3 times, she'd give back the device that could save her husband's life. The other passengers protested this humiliation, but the girlfriend shut them up. She bragged that once she married the CEO, every plane in the airline would be hers to command. With her husband's life on the line and no other choice, the professor slowly and painfully agreed to her humiliating demands. Just as she started to kneel, her son, the airline CEO, stormed through the airport terminal with his security team. He had no idea about the horror that was happening on the plane. A woman brutally shoved broken glass from a shattered perfume bottle toward another woman's mouth on a packed airplane. The victim was already bruised with a bleeding head wound, and the attacker's scheming friend was holding her down on the floor. Xiao Linlin had grabbed a fire axe from the wall and raised it high, ready to strike her down right in the middle of the aisle as terrified passengers looked on. A flight attendant rushed to stop her, pleading with her not to cause a scene because today was the day she was meeting her future in-laws. Hearing this, Xiao Linlin lowered the axe, but it only made her angrier. The injured woman looked her in the eye and defiantly said that Zhou Yanchuan would never be her husband. As her friend held the woman down, Xiao Linlin bragged about how her fiancé gave her his credit card to buy gifts for his parents. He let her spend whatever she wanted. But what she didn't know was that the man himself, Zhou Yanchuan, had gotten on the wrong flight by mistake. After realizing his mother was on a different plane, he rushed over. He burst into the cabin just in time to hear the commotion and see his fiancé's true cruel side. He yelled for them to stop, freezing everyone in place. He just stared in disbelief at the scene in front of him. His fiancée, Xiao Linlin, immediately played the victim. She claimed they weren't fighting but were just worried because his mother hadn't gotten on the flight and they were afraid something was wrong. Her scheming friend quickly added that the injured woman was the real troublemaker. She said she was causing a scene and cursing at them for wanting to delay the flight for his mother. Yanchuan tried to call his mother but got no answer, and he started to panic. As he paced, a flight attendant rushed over with an urgent message. A doctor was on the phone, telling him his own father wouldn't survive an upcoming surgery unless the life-saving equipment was delivered right away. Blinded by worry for his parents and fooled by his fiancé's lies, he completely ignored the real victim as she gasped for breath. He took his fiancé's hand, thanking her for being so thoughtful and promising that his mother would love her. From her seat, the injured woman weakly whispered, "No." Meanwhile, the scheming friend praised the woman who had just tried to kill her, calling her a perfect daughter-in-law. Believing her, Yanchuan ordered the flight crew to send the injured woman to a hospital. As a flight attendant helped the victim to her feet, she weakly reached for the mysterious white cooler on the floor. With her last bit of strength, she reached a trembling hand toward Yanchuan's pocket, trying to get his attention. He told them to wait, finally stopping them from leading her away. After ordering the bloodied woman off his plane, the CEO felt a little guilty and announced that his airline would cover all her medical bills. His fiancée, Linlin, pretended to be concerned, telling him how kind he was to a poor, worn-out woman. He replied that his mother had taught him to value every life. What he didn't know was that the woman he thought was a troublemaker was being helped by a kind flight attendant in an airport lounge. The woman revealed the shocking truth. The cooler she was desperately protecting had a life-saving artificial heart for her husband, who had less than 3 hours to live. Meanwhile, the CEO and his fiancée got to a hospital where his friend complained about the bad luck. But the real bad luck was his. A doctor came out of the ICU with bad news. His own father was in critical condition and needed an artificial heart transplant right away. The only one in the world was in that cooler, which the doctor said was with his mother. Suddenly, it all clicked for Linlin. She flashed back to the woman on the plane, the same one she had attacked, who had cried out that her husband needed an artificial heart. She was Zhou Yanchuan's mother. The woman she had tormented was the key to saving his father's life. Terrified, Linlin pretended she was just shocked by how serious the situation was. A call came in, telling them his mother had changed her flight and would be there in half an hour. Thinking his mother was still in another city, Linlin breathed a sigh of relief, thinking her secret was safe, and happily planned a shopping spree. But just as she and her friend were walking out of the ICU hallway laughing, a bruised figure stumbled around the corner, holding onto a white cooler. It was his mother, and she had made it to the hospital. A severely injured woman was rushed to the hospital after being brutally attacked by her son's girlfriend. When she woke up, she found her son by her bed, who had no idea who the attacker was. His mother tried to tell him that his girlfriend was the one who attacked her, but he didn't believe it. He told his mother how kind his girlfriend was, and that she had even bought her a bottle of perfume. Instantly, the mother had a flashback to the attack. She remembered her son's girlfriend forcing a strange liquid into her mouth. Only then did she realize her son was being tricked by this evil woman. She tried to warn him, reminding him that he'd been fooled by women before, but he insisted this girl was different. He called her simple, cute, and kind. Seeing how blind he was, the mother pretended to be okay with it, saying she looked forward to meeting her. Soon after, the girlfriend got to the hospital with her friend. To fake being sad, she used eye drops to make it look like she'd been crying. She ran into the room and put on a show, crying and asking if her auntie was okay. The son, completely taken in, turned his back on his mother to comfort his crying girlfriend. But at a big party for the family, a new woman appeared. It was the mother, now fully recovered and looking like a powerful matriarch. Her son complimented the beautiful necklace she was wearing, and she smiled, saying his father had good taste. The son told her he was going to pick up his father and that his girlfriend would be coming to the party soon, that he asked his mother to have a nice chat with her. The mother, remembering the brutal attack and the insults, smiled coldly and promised she would have a good talk with the girl. This time she had bodyguards on either side of her. Across the hall, the girlfriend and her friend were looking for the mother, expecting to see a weak old woman. She told her friend that this mother-in-law had the highest status in the family, and winning her over was the key to marrying into a rich family. She was sure the elegant woman would love her, but what she didn't know was that this powerful matriarch was the same woman she had brutally attacked on a plane just a few days ago. Confidently, she walked up to the mother from behind, calling out sweetly and introducing herself as her son's girlfriend. Other guests whispered in awe, saying that this was the mysterious Mrs. Zhou, a famous professor who rarely showed up in public. The girlfriend started to flatter her, saying she was just as classy as her son had described. The mother replied with a cold smile, asking if she could tell she had class just by seeing her back. Not giving up, the girlfriend gave her a gift, a limited edition perfume, but the sight of the bottle triggered a horrible flashback for the mother. She remembered this same girl forcing a strange liquid down her throat during the attack. With a look of pure disgust, the mother repeated that she didn't like it. When the girlfriend offered other gifts, the mother cut her off, saying that as long as it was from her, she didn't like any of it. The girlfriend's friend tried to step in, but the mother didn't budge, saying that she just didn't like her as a person. Desperate, the girlfriend asked if there had been some misunderstanding and suggested they work on their relationship. The mother just laughed. hitting her with the final blow that she would never be her daughter-in-law. She then ordered the girl to lift her head. As their eyes met, the girlfriend's confident smile instantly disappeared, replaced by pure terror.